Okay, so this is the Immersion deep dive. Some of this might be a repeat, but hopefully some of it's new. So there is this article that was submitted to SPUR, and it has been accepted pending minor revisions. I do know that Caitlin has done some revisions. I believe it's in Sue Ann's hands right now, I think. And I believe all the revisions are due for March 2nd. And so that would be on the immersions pre-COVID and how that is helping students to persist in college and what it did for them. There is an upcoming article submission that a couple of folks from West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine are very interested in getting submitted, and this would be on actually more on the virtual immersions in summer 2020. We did have a virtual internship best practices webinar that we were invited to give from the Includes Network. Mike was our representative. He actually presented at that with Erica, I believe Sue Ann, Mike giving a lot of input for the presentation. So what Mike discussed was the summer 2020 virtual programs and cohort building. And there were about 181 participants from across the nation, plus there were other panelists from U.S. Geographic Survey, I think, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and STEM Core. And I attended. It was quite good. Everyone was sent a link to continue the virtual discussion and presentation. And then the webinar allowed some people to reconnect with STEM Core. Let's see. There was a Twitter chat, I believe last Friday, that was held by the network. And Ada Jimenez and I believe at least one student went on that or provided for that Twitter chat. I'm not sure how that went. We haven't gotten any feedback from that, but that was really nice of them to do that. Some other highlights are that, sorry, my little things keep getting in my way. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, this is the American Chemical Society spring meeting. It was Erica's idea to have a symposium there. We did a lot of advertisement, so Immersion is involved with this. We did a lot of advertisement to Kerr specifically, and we got, I believe, 14 abstracts submitted. So we have now taken this and split it into two symposia. So we had enough that we had to have 2 time blocks. And so there's going to be 14 abstracts, at least 5 of them were submitted by first 2 members. And then there's going to be 1 to 2 panels with at least one panel emphasizing first 2 and its models for supporting students and providing student voice. And then one of our new members, Cynthia Pacheco, and I were assisting Sanish Ray and Keenan, I'm not sure how to say his last name, and Keenan from WU Tech to formulate a RAP-like model that they're going to implement in fall 2021, where they're going to pay their students through federal work study funding to engage in research. We've met with the WU Tech provost at least twice, along with Sanish and Keenan, and she is very supportive of this idea. They had a meeting to discuss a RAP-like model there with, I think, about 13 faculty came. About half of them were very interested and want to be involved. So they're working through the kinks and trying to figure out how this is going to count for them in terms of teaching. There was an abstract submitted on the summer immersion program at specifically the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. Sorry, the O should be large. And that was presented in January 2021. We haven't talked with them, but we're hoping that it went really well for them. They got a lot of good questions. The academic year research programs are still occurring. And specifically, if we look at the West Virginia Undergraduate Research Day at the Capitol, which is going to occur Friday, March 5th, and all are invited to attend. I've got this linked up, so if we can provide the presentation to you, you can click on all these links. But Undergraduate Research Day at the Capitol, it should be open at 11 a.m. on March 5th, and then it'll occur all day long. So please come and visit the presentations, especially those of our first 2 students. At least 3 students from UC are presenting, 1 from West Virginia State University, 1 from Fairmont, and 1 from WVU are presenting. And then we do need judges. So we would like to get judges for Undergraduate Research Day at the Capitol from all over West Virginia. And so there's a link to apply to be a judge. We would love to have you. I think we need about 34 judges.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's so that the judges aren't overwhelmed. We don't want them to have to be doing like a full day. So we have it set where they have about 5 presentations to judge, and that limits their work to much less than 2 hours.
Okay.
The West Virginia Academy of Sciences, as Erica mentioned, is calling for abstracts. They're due February 28th. And then I believe the virtual meeting will be on Saturday, April 10th. And then institutional presentations, meaning our students who are engaged in academic year research, they will be presenting at, let's say, upcoming spring symposia at their institutions. So there will be more presentations upcoming by our first 2 students. The summer research immersion, 7 proposals were received, 7 sites were funded, and there's a list of the sites there. And the 8th one is Green Bank, because Green Bank is also running their site. They're just funded through other monies. We are currently advertising for mentors, so the mentor applications are live. Please tell all first 2 students. They have been hopefully all emailed, and we've been working on getting all site directors to really email about, recruiting for mentors. Overall, not counting Green Bank, we need 69 rising freshman participants and 18 mentors for the first 2 funded sites. And then more participants will be funded through Green Bank, and more mentors are needed for Green Bank. 2 reviewers provided feedback on the proposals to each site, and the sites agreed to sharing and review of the proposals to learn from the kind of like the best practices put forward by each of the proposals, from each of the proposals. Applications are also live for the rising freshmen. So we're going to really start ramping up advertisement for applications, and Madge is going to be helping with that as well this year. So we really appreciate her help. So everyone's encouraged to advertise for rising freshmen for this, and we need help from all the working groups on this, and we need as much help as possible. And then feedback we would want from the steering committee is, kind of budgetary information. For instance, getting institutional matching funding is a challenge right now. There's declined support from the state government for institutions. And then also the pandemic has really tightened up institutional budgets such that you almost feel bad for asking for money at this point. Not that we don't still do it. Recruiting can still be an issue in terms of the summer immersion. And Mike indicates that West Virginia has a smaller number of students completing college materials as well. The promise, the FAFSA, smaller number of students committing to come to college. Like I heard about a month ago, they said it was like 50% what it was last year. And then a great way to include the summer immersion sites, post includes, would be a statewide RU site proposal to NSF. But the challenge is, who would be the PI? If it's a faculty member, would it count? Who would manage it? Is backbone management needed? I do know that Cynthia is interested in this, Cynthia Pacheco, and maybe writing this, but I also don't want that one person to be totally overwhelmed. So any questions?
We have 2 minutes for questions, and then we're going to get Jade's joke before she has to log off for class.
So I think we would like graduate students for judges for undergraduate research day at the Capitol, and also so graduate students, masters, going for masters and PhDs. So, but you're welcome to attend and ask lots of questions, because presentations are going to be taped, they're audio taped, they're going to be uploaded on YouTube, and then you can ask questions and post your questions on YouTube and get responses. So we really need attendees. Not just judges, but attendees. So we would love for you to attend and ask questions. And how the students answer questions is also something that's being judged as well. Yes, first 2 alums could judge. Yeah.